Hey guys, I'm back again, finally. Been a little under the weather this week, got some kind of crud, cough, I don't know what. But I wanted to come back because I told you guys I would show you how I connect, pages and stuff like that when I'm doing, well, I had some requests from a couple of people to show how I connect pages and how I connect these sleeves. So I thought I would show you some of that. And then there's so many ways to do that. And then I thought I would show you my progress on this particular book that I had hoped to finish at the beginning of the week, but like I said, I got some kind of crud. So I will show you that I finished the cover. I did, and I can't see where I am. Okay, so I finished the cover, okay, and I put, all these little pieces on here. My sewing machine was giving me a little bit of a fit, so right here is kind of a little wonky, but it still works. It's not going anywhere. And then, just added stars, and then I had a couple other brads. I put some little, this was a little ticket that came in, some October afternoon stuff that I got off of peachycheap.com, and then label, and then this Oh by Golly. Somebody suggested that this would go really well with this, and it actually does. So I took that suggestion and, put some other little goodies on here, okay? And then I have not put any rickrack here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I kind of like the way it is now. And I have not done the inside, this part yet. I have glued down the spine, the fabric for the spine, and I've done a few embellishments that'll go in here with the rest of this. But so and then I started a tassel to go with this one. I've got to add some beads and bobs to that. I did the ties, and then I have some extra goodies here that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. But I wanted to show you how to connect pages. And there's a lot of videos on this. If you just go in, guys, and search, journal making or basic journal making and extending pages and things like that, you can find a lot of stuff like that. So there's a couple ways of doing this. You can just fold your pages up. You can connect these two pieces like this. Okay, we can just glue those together. However, that's going to extend this page beyond where I want it. Okay, so I thought what I would do here, and I was thinking, I'm trying to remember, what was I going to do? I think I'm just going to do it, how was I going to do this? I think like this. I think I was going to glue that in there. Yeah, on the inside, and then this piece on the outside. So let's do that. So I'm going to take my fabric glue. And I'm not gonna put a ton of glue on here because I am gonna stitch this as well. Just depends on what you're gonna do. So I'm gonna line this up. And I'm not so worried about this right here. I'm going to stitch it here, and then that's the fun of, junk journaling, is to, kind of make it work. Okay, so I think what I had decided here, because I don't want to cover up the image, that I was going to do this here. And you glue this here on this part of the story. So another thing you can do too, you don't need this much. You don't really need a whole inch of that. You could have straightened this up a little bit, made this a little bit neater than what I did. But like I said, you know, it just depends on what you're in the mood for. And then if it's still not, so it's still not really completely straight. Okay, let's straighten that up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, see how this is a little bit extended over? I'm just gonna go trim it up. So I'm gonna go to my trimmer and straighten that up so that I know. So that it's straight. And actually it's a little bit taller. You can see here, it's a little bit taller, so I'm gonna cut a little bit of this off and maybe just a hair down here instead of cutting all those really fun little decorative elements off. Okay, so that will work now, okay? And it's totally up to you. You could just cut that completely off, make it smaller. But I really want to keep these elements to these pages on here. I didn't want to get rid of all of that, okay? So that's one put together. And then, so that's kind of how you can do it paper-wise. With these plastic sleeves, and the first thing you want to do when you're getting ready to do this is make sure that you've got your opening to the top, okay? Because I have done this. I have messed up and done it like this, and then my opening's down here. And then I've had to, you know, kind of scratch that and start all over. So make sure your opening's up here. And what I did was I took my scrapbook paper and I cut like 1.5 inch strips and then scored them down the middle, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, and I folded it over, and I have not cut it because what I wanna do, if you'll notice, these pages don't come all the way to the top, but this one does. So sometimes I will just cut that little piece out, you know, once I've glued something. And sometimes I'll just go up here and down here. So what I'm gonna do here, and I hope you can see this, is I'm gonna glue this. I'm gonna take this fabric glue, all right, and I'm gonna come right here on both sides of this. Now, if you're not gonna sew this, I would use fabric glue and a double-sided tape of some kind. I'm gonna go a little bit above. A little bit above with that. You see that? I'm leaving myself a little space here, and I'm leaving this whole thing on here because I want to make sure that I get it straight. And if you can see, I'm coming right next to that line where the opening is. So I don't want to go further in because then that's going to cover that up, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm trying to get it lined up with the, this is really sort of hard to show you on. Oh, yeah. So I want to make sure that these two pieces are lined up. See that? I want to make sure that they're lined up pretty straight. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right there at the top. I'm going to cut that part I'm gonna come down here at the bottom, I'm gonna line it up, and I'm gonna cut that part off. So save this, you can have a little tab, the other little scrap, and just throw it away. Okay, then I'm gonna come on the inside with the same, I did the same thing. I cut a 1.5 inch strip, I scored it down the middle and folded it in half, and now I'm gonna glue this piece on here. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna, try to keep it, I'm gonna come up a little bit. And I can either put my glue here, I guess I could just put my glue on here. Not concerned with a ton of glue, I just want it to tack down because I'm going to stitch it to reinforce it on the page, okay? I'm gonna fold it over again. And if it's like, so there's a little bit more, I think, yeah, okay. See, once I didn't have it scored in the same exact place. So we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna stitch it, then we're gonna fold it over so that it doesn't do what it just did. You could just do it on one side. You really don't have to do inside and outside like this. It really doesn't matter because you can, you can come back in on the inside once you've stitched your paper to it. You could add washi tape, or you could add some other, you could add fabric, you could add the paper over top of the stitching, and you could just do a strip and a strip. It's still gonna bind in the middle, okay? But if you don't like that, that's a little bit, you can see a little bit of that white. But once you get it in the book, it's not really gonna matter. You won't really see that. You won't notice it once you put things in there. So that's the way to put these two pieces together. Now, like I said, if you're not gonna stitch it, I would highly recommend using 2 types of adhesive. I tried with just the fabric tack, and eventually that's going to pull apart. Eventually that's not going to stay. It's just not. If you use the score tape and the fabric tack on top of that, that seemed to work. Over years, I don't know how, excuse me, I don't know how that will do, but it did work, okay? I just don't know how long it'll hold up. I think being able to stitch or maybe staple, you could probably staple through this. There's just a lot of different ways to try this, okay? But I think the stitching really with the plastic sleeves probably helps make sure that, good there. So this was the piece that I had thought about putting on the inside cover, and then I decided I didn't like the way the color combos were looking. It just wasn't doing anything for me. So then what I thought is I would hinge this. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna score this, and I just kind of find a spot on my scoreboard. I don't go all the way, all the way to the beginning or whatever. I think I'm gonna score about 1/2 inch. Okay. 1/2 inch down this paper. Fold it over. And I think what I'm gonna do is just is glue it on here on the back. Okay, like that. And a lot of this, guys, is just, it's just trial and error. Try and see, see what's going to work. And this is wanting to pooch right there because I don't have it. There we go. And now with the paper to paper, the glue is sufficient. So you really, you really don't need to do anything else. You could put that in, as a signature, okay? And then maybe if you wanted to come back over here on this side and add another strip or something, or make it a pocket on this side and reinforce, give you a little bit more reinforcement there, which I really don't think you need. You could just do it just like that. And of course, I can't ever get anything straight, as y'all can see. So let's kind of fix that. And then I'll go cut it. I'll go cut this down just a hair to make it straight, okay? Get back over to my cutter. This is the non-measuring style of doing things. Okay, and then that's gonna, yep, that will fit in there just fine. So I'm gonna make this the first page in the book, okay? And I'm gonna go stitch this, okay? And then for this particular piece, which is a piece like I did in my book, and Anne did contact me and say in the comments, she contacted me and said she did want this book. So I'm trying to kind of add some of the same elements that I did in mine. And what I'm going to do here is, instead of coming across here, because I don't want to cover that up, okay, which I could, it's not a big deal. Could glue it there, open up, and then it'd be there. But I'm going to glue it, I'm going to glue it on here, on top of here, okay. So like I said, it's absolutely preference. How you want to do this is trial and error of adding your pages to one another. You can use washi paper, just fold paper over, fabric, whatever you want. Here I'm going to try to make this so it's actually even, and I don't have to cut anything down because I already measured all this. Okay. Now, oops, some glue there. And that fabric tack, if you just kind of let that dry a little bit, it really rolls right up and rubs right off. It's not like some other glues that just absolutely make a mess. So there we go. There's that. And this is actually the inside of the page of another book. Like the fly leaf page of another book. I can't remember which one. But it's really nice. It's a really nice linen paper. Anyway, okay, so there's that one that I'm going to stitch. But you can use it like that. You don't have to stitch it. And then on the dessert page, on the little tabs, so you can either find you a piece of paper that lines up and is, that matches completely. Or you can use a smaller, piece. I'm actually using a smaller piece of, I think this is like an 8x8 paper. That again, I just folded. It's probably not exactly even, of course. But I'm gonna glue this on this side. I could do it the other way, I could do it like that too, okay? And then make, something, add something on top of there. But I'm gonna do it like this. And I probably will, I may add something there, may just leave it for the lady that's purchasing it to do what she wants. Which is probably most likely, because I'm not going to do a ton of embellishing to this. I'm just going to add a bunch of goodies for her. I want her to make it her own. I will do more embellishing than what I've already done in mine, but I'll probably add a whole lot more for her. So there was a small little tear in this paper right here, which doesn't matter. I'm going to stitch it up and may add a little piece of washi or something there just to cover up that little imperfection. So now we have this, okay? And I like different size pages. I got some glue here coming through the holes. Anyway, I like using different size pages. Like, everything doesn't have to be matched up for me. But so now what I'll do is I'll take all these things over to my sewing machine, and I will stitch them and get this. I've got one more. Got to do these two pieces together. But then, and I had cut other pieces of paper. And you don't have to use scrapbook paper either. You can use a thinner paper. You can use just like a coffee dyed paper or just a regular white, you know, copy paper. This gives a little bit more sturdiness for me. I kind of get hung up on that sometimes and tend to make things thick, but trying to do better at looking at other options. But yeah, you could use washi. I think washi tape, if you use a really good, like Washi Shop, the Washi Shop, a really good sticky tape, maybe along with some double-sided tape, I think that would probably hold up over time. You know, just use a combination of different things and try that in one of your own journals and see if it works. I think that might actually work if you use some really sticky tape. Anyway, so that's all for this video. I will go to my sewing machine. I will sew all these things together, and then I'll come back and when I get ready to bind the journal, someone has requested to see me bind the actual journal, so I'll try to do that later today, and I'll do a video of it, if you know, when I do it, and I'll let you guys see that. Okay, love you guys, and I hope everybody is having a happy new year so far, and I will see you soon. Bye.